Okay, to start these vegan truffles, gotta start with 8 ounces of dark bittersweet cocoa. 70% cacao is what you're looking for. Chop it up, put it in a bowl, and have it waiting. And now I've heated up some coconut milk, full fat coconut milk, just over a half a cup. I went a little extra. And I have a strainer here, and I'm just gonna strain this hot coconut milk right on top. Give the bowl a little shake. And I like to cover this lightly so that the steam kind of helps. And what this is going to do, it helps melt the chocolate in a really non-aggressive kind of way. So let that sit for a bit. 1 minute, 5 minutes, you're looking for melted chocolate. Okay, it's been a few minutes, so we're gonna give this a stir. And though this be vegan, look, it's all pretty nicely melted. So you're just gonna stir this up. Coconut and chocolate is phenomenal. There's a fondue that we make on New Year's Eve that's pretty much coconut milk, chocolate, coconut extract. It's delicious. So at this point, you know, think about what the flavorings are that you want to add to this. If you want to pump up the coconut flavor with the chocolate, you could add coconut extract. You could put some extra cacao in here. But this is, once you get this all stirred up, so we're going to start adding some of our magic flavor crystals, if you will. So now you don't want to add it to the chocolate. You want to add it to the mixture of the coconut milk and the chocolate. Chocolate on its own, you can't add water or alcohol-based extracts. If you want to add something to your chocolates, to melted chocolate, it needs to be oil-based, or else your chocolate's gonna seize up. So our coconut milk is all mixed in there. We're gonna add some vanilla, a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And for this, we're gonna actually add a little bit of orange. So I've got orange liqueur, just triple sec here. Half a teaspoon. So half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and a half a teaspoon of orange liqueur. Now using those measurements, you can add whatever you want. And we need a little bit of salt just to kick up the flavor. And it's just a pinch. We're just gonna let it cool till it's at room temperature. So about an hour, depending on how hot that coconut milk was. Okay, our chocolate is at room temperature. And I forgot to mention, as you're mixing in your extracts and your flavors, if you want to sweeten things up a little bit, you can. A little maple syrup, a little bit of honey, a little bit of maybe some confectioner's sugar to sweeten things up, because dark chocolate is very bitter. But if you can keep the sugar down, this is what makes these kind of healthy. So giving a little sweetness too to like whatever you roll them in could also up your sweetness too. So just want to mention that. So we're at room temperature. I've got some parchment on a baking sheet, and I have a teaspoon that I'm just going to drop. And it's not firm. What we're going to do is we're going to pop this baking sheet in the fridge for about 30 minutes so that these can get firmed up, and then we'll roll them. That's how you'll get a nice round truffle. We'll roll them in some cocoa powder, and if you want, even some shredded coconut. That could also sweeten things up as well. And you could get creative on what you roll them in. So continue with all of this and fill your sheet. Okay, so each ball is like a teaspoon and a half about. Or, I mean, you could argue it's a tablespoon. Depends on how big you want to make them. So I'm going to chill this for 30 minutes, and that should firm things up enough for us to work with them. So I took my truffles out of the refrigerator, and I've got some sweetened shredded coconut, and I've got some cocoa powder. You can roll these in whatever you would like. Ground nuts, spiced sugars, you name it. You can do some sea salt on top. It's whatever you'd like. Now, this is when I dropped them by the teaspoon and a half, and I had them in the fridge for longer than 30 minutes. And what happens is they really firm up, and they're hard to shape. So I've had them sitting out for about 30-45 minutes. And once they do that, and please excuse my cold, I'm still stuffed up, I can kind of squeeze these into a ball, and you can actually work with them. And that's the idea. You want to roll these into a ball. If you follow the recipe properly and you just chill them for 30 minutes, this is a lot easier. But the day got away from me, so they were chilled for longer. So here's your ball, and all you do is you roll in some cocoa powder. And if you want, and you don't have to, kind of roll them around in some and there you go, there's a vegan truffle. As I roll them, I'm going to set them in a airtight little storage container that I'm going to keep in the fridge. If you want to skip the cocoa powder, just roll them around in the shredded coconut. It'll probably stick better if you want more, like so. You just do the cocoa. So just continue on until you're all done with your truffles. And you can store them in the fridge. There they all are. As you can see, I kind of alternated between the cocoa and the coconut. It's up to you what you want to do. And now they're going to go into the airtight container, and I will have them on hand for healthy snacking when the sweet tooth starts getting hungry. All right, that concludes our Fridays with Flora with our yummy, yummy vegan truffles. So we can stay eating healthy this month and still get that sweet tooth craving taken care of. So thank you for joining me on Fridays with Flora, and please subscribe to the channel, and check out the blog, check out the shop. All your support really helps me keep cooking, keep crafting, keep sharing, which is our mission, making the world lovelier one pixel at a time. Thank you so much, and thanks for putting up with my congestion still. 1 week later, I'm still sick, so we're gonna have to get to the bottom of that one. Have a great Friday.